This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today, it's the start of a new week. For those of you playing along at home, for those of you that are just getting this, where the fuck you want to get it, then it's the start of today, then whatever. Wicked. Well, welcome to everyone around the world. What I want to cover off on today is how to overcome the fear of judgment. Which is pretty interesting. I mean, like, if I can do that in 10 minutes to a very large population, that would be fucking wicked. However, there's a lot more that happens to every single podcast that I run. There's two types of learning that I teach, right? And whenever I run a seminar, whenever I work one-on-one with someone, I teach them these two types. There's frame learning and there's flow learning. Frame learning is anything like a podcast, a seminar, a workshop, a 4-year uni degree, schooling, a book, something that has a start, a middle, and an end. Flow learning is grabbing that learning and putting it into practice in real time, right? You could call it awareness learning. You could call it experience. I don't care what the fuck you call it. They're the two types of learning. So what it really is grabbing this, what I'm sharing, making it information, you putting it in form in your head, and then you actually acting it out again and again and again and again and again. That's how we learn something. That's how we embody the thing, the idea. It becomes knowledge. Right? Beautiful. So please take this and apply it as best you can time and time again. Because what I want to talk about, how to overcome the fear of judgment is that look at how it starts. It's how to overcome fear, right? There's two things there. Let's talk about fear first. Fear is something that's in the future, which means it's not real. It's not real. It's not happening. It's a potential, not a probable necessarily. Like it's a potential of the future. And this is the interesting thing, is that we are grabbing that potential of the future. We're creating a movie in our mind, and then we're creating like this somatic response, like this visceral response in the moment about something that may never occur. In fact, the amount of realities that can unfold in front of you, and you're looking at that specific one. Why are you giving that one weight? And why is it that you're looking in the future around someone else's judgment? You're fearing that, and then you're bringing the emotion and the physical, and you're freezing in the moment now. This is what's really interesting around it, right? The other point around that, it's overcome. What that means, it presupposes something that is you have to go over, right? And it's coming for you. Think about that. To overcome it means you have to, it's large, you have to go over it, and it's coming. This is what's so interesting about the idea. It's like, I need to overcome my fear of yada yada. No, you fucking don't. You need to see it for what it is, which is not the truth. You're responding to something that is not the truth, which means that it's a lie. You're lying to yourself about the probability of the future because it's a possibility, and then you're reacting to it. And this is what's really interesting, is that we create it. No one else creates it. But let's go further. How to overcome fear of judgment. Judgment. Why is judgment the issue here? Right? Because often it's usually a person that you're thinking of. Maybe two, right? Maybe three. There's usually not very many whatsoever at all. That you're thinking that this person's judgment of what you may want to do with your life. And then you're stopping yourself in the moment because of the possibility of that. You can hear how ridiculous. I mean, it happens. We all do it. I fucking do it. But it's recognizing it, right? When I recognize it, I'm like, David, I'm stopping myself from doing something that I really want to do, that I think is morally correct and true and honest and integral for me. Why am I stopping myself? Because of the potential judgment of this one individual. Why is that? Why? This is the question. Why that person? And I know that as I'm talking, you're thinking of someone, right? Why that person? Who does that person remind you of? What about that person's judgment are you afraid of? Because that's where your issue lies. Not with their judgment, but who they either remind you of and what that reminds you of, or what that means to you, because you're the meaning maker. What does their layer of judgment mean to you? Does it mean they're going to call you names again? Does it mean they're going to leave you? Does it mean that you always do this is what they're going to end up saying? I remember not doing things because of the fear of judgment of people that would never listen to anything that I had to fucking say anyway. They wouldn't buy the shit that I wanted to put out there. So my you call them peers if you want, people in the industry that would never buy from me anyway. I would worry about what they might think of me, and it would stop me from making an impact. Until I realized that it's a lie, and what I had was positive, and that even if negativity came back, the amount of positivity that I put out there would completely drown the negativity anyway, right? The person's opinion of saying you offended me compared to everyone else getting... The podcast, once again, is a perfect example of that. Hearing from you guys saying thank you so much, or I changed this, or, whatever it is, when you guys... It makes my day. You have no idea. It's beautiful, so thank you for that. But my whole point there being is that I almost didn't do it because of the potential judgment of people that would never fucking listen anyway. And when I recognized that, I was like, man, I've got to get out of my own way. I'm creating a future that may never happen. And then what I'm also doing is giving their opinion more weight than mine. I'm giving them external authority over... They're not even doing anything. They don't even give a fuck. They're eating nachos, watching Netflix. And I'm over here like, oh, this person's going to think of me like this. They're not even fucking thinking of me. They don't give a shit. So you see how you create it in your own head? You got to let that go, and you just got to trust yourself to deal with reality as it goes. And you have to be prepared to be a beginner, and it's okay. You got to learn. You're not meant to know everything, ever. It doesn't work that way. You're constantly the student. That never changes. And when you give yourself that freedom, man, the world changes around you. So what if they judge you? Everything's judgment. Fuck. If somebody goes, yo, that's a terrible dress, why would you wear that? That's judgy, right? That's judgment. If somebody's like, oh my God, I love your dress, where did you get it from? That's also fucking judgment. It's just we feel better about the second one. So then we have to tiptoe around everyone about their feelings. It's like, no, we need to work on our own opinion of ourselves and what it is that we should do with our lives, so that other people's judgment is just that. It's fucking their opinion and nothing else. Right? You know the quote. How does it go? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one and they usually stink. Like, it's just... I hope your kids aren't listening to this. So it's just this, fuck it, let your kids listen to this. They should listen to this as well, because fuck those little bullies on the playground. You know what I mean? And so looking at this, it's like what is the concern around the loss of status? Right? What is the concern around the loss of status about somebody's judgment that you've given power to over your own opinion of what you should do with your life? Your life. It's fucking yours. Your inability to act on the things you know to be true to your soul and know to be true to your worth and your passion and your purpose and what you give meaning to in this life, it ends up manifesting in your body as regret, resent, and you will act out. Maybe that'll come in this form of passive-aggressive to your children. Maybe it'll come in the form of doing terrible work for your boss when you're 45 because you don't give a fuck anymore, and what's the point, because you thought it was all meant to work out with the picket fence and it fucking didn't. Think about it. Overcome the fear of judgment by stop giving your power away. Put more weight behind what you think about you than what other people think about you. That's the power. Right? Because then you're in a space where you can constantly give because you're not worried about having things taken away from you. God damn it. Place of abundance. Team, that's it. I'm out. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this podcast beneficial and you think you know someone else, I think you do as well, that you think would also find it beneficial, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with them. Otherwise, we have, I think, until the end of this week. If you guys are a PT, a gym owner, a coach, or an athlete, and you want to get in the coaches circle after this week, at the start of September, the price goes up. The group closes off for the first intake, which will be, the price won't ever be at this price ever again, just to clarify. So jump on davenixon.com.au/memberships to find out and apply about that. We'll get on the phone, we'll have some banter, see if it's the right fit, and go from there. Hey, even just jump on and have some banter with me. I'm all down for a chat. You guys heard my musings. You know that. Either way, I'm out, team. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, peace and pizza, kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.